A few days ago, I posted a public service announcement that if you had to apologize about your demo, then probably the demo isn't right or isn't ready. And I got a little bit of pushback. So I wanted to go over this specifically. I already had the idea of putting a video together to help independent artists and songwriters know what kind of demo they need to make, how far they need to go with production, what they need to focus on, because I, over the years, have listened to so many bad demos. But I thought I'd break it down into what you need to focus on when you make these demos. And it has to do with the purpose of the demo. And that's really all it comes down to is what are you trying to demonstrate with the demo? So I thought I'd break it down for you. My name is Becky. This is the Empowered Indie Artists YouTube channel and podcast. Please subscribe, please like, please share. I do these for you. I do it because I love helping independent artists. So let's get to it. So when you are putting together a demo, the first thing to ask yourself is, what are you demonstrating? And what I came up with, typically there are about 4 different types of demos, 4 different things that you might want to demonstrate. First type would be to demonstrate you as a vocalist, but there are going to be different reasons why you'd want to demonstrate yourself as a vocalist. And let's break those down even further. So one would be as a singer looking for collaborators or bandmates. And this is the circumstance that I saw in a Facebook group the other day that motivated me to post that late. Like, if you need to apologize about your demo, it's not ready. Because in this situation, and I'm not meaning to bag on this particular person, I'm not going to call them out. They don't know me. I don't even think they follow me. I just saw them make this post, and they were looking for collaborators, bandmates, and they posted a video of them. Well, actually, a few different things, and each thing there was an apology attached to it. I was sick when I recorded this, or this was recorded so long ago. It was before I was still working on developing my voice. And it begs the question, why would you post videos or samples of your singing that don't demonstrate your current abilities when you're looking for people to jump on your bandwagon? If you were saying, hey, listen to the progress I've made from, 5 years ago to now, then that makes sense to post an old singing video. But if you want us to hear what you sound like now, and you want us as musicians and bandmates potentially to get excited about you as a singer, it really needs to be your best work, and it needs to be current. It doesn't have to be polished, but it needs to represent you right now at your best. The other reason why a singer would put together a demo is if they're looking for session work. I would like to be able to get hired to add my vocals. And I've had a lot of discussions with singers about this. If you are really specific about what you want to do for session work, then make sure that your demo reflects that. For example, I really am not a good lead vocalist, but I love doing backing vocals and um, I can do the arrangements and all of that. So if when I was first starting in vocal production, I had a demo reel put together that demonstrated my voice, but also my ability to arrange the harmony parts. And I had a variety. It was about a minute and a half clip that had these 10-second snippets of cool background vocal stuff that I've done. And so that gives someone a really quick and broad glance of what I can do as a background singer and arranger. Now, if you are someone that wants to be able to do lead and backing and all different styles and genres of lead, your demo reel, again, it shouldn't be more than about a minute and a half, but it needs to demonstrate in a very broad sense all of your abilities, if that's what you want. But if you're like, no, I really just want to get session work doing this one particular thing, then don't include anything else in your demo. And that's really as simple as it gets. But those demos need to be current and they need to be professional. They need to sound really good. And we can't be distracted with crackly distortion in the recording or anything like that. They really need to be well recorded, well produced. They don't have to be full productions necessarily, unless you're demonstrating what you can do as a vocal producer with mixing and everything. But otherwise, the recording, the production really just needs to be clean, not distorted, and nothing in it that will distract us from hearing your voice. Second type of demo would be if you are demonstrating your song idea, your song meaning lyrics and melody. You've written a top line, which is lyrics and melody, or you have written a song and you want to demonstrate the song. Now, let's break that down into different reasons why you would be pitching this. And one would be I have written a song and I am pitching it to artists and their publishers because I want to get an artist cut. This is like the highest level of demo possible because whether people want to admit it or not, when you're sitting in a room with the artist and you're listening to demo after demo after demo, the ones that are really well produced and recorded, I think it's subconsciously they're going to shine better in an artist's mind. What you're demonstrating is not just the lyrics and melody, but what that song could potentially sound like with great production and great mixing. So if you are pitching to mainstream artists or country artists, I'm sorry to say, but your demos need to be pretty close to being fully produced. The good news is that there are demo houses, especially in Nashville, where it's literally the best players, the ones that you will hear on the top records coming out of Nashville. They work for these demo houses, and for a pretty decent price, you can drop in there with your song. They listen to it once or twice, chart it out, and then they're playing it. I mean, they're just incredible. If you've ever been to one of these demo houses and witnessed it, it's pretty amazing. And either you or the a professional session singer does the same thing. They are in the studio recording this as if it's a record, but they're really professional. If you're not at that level of a singer, but you feel like, oh, I want to sing it, you know, I wouldn't. Just hire a professional session singer that sounds really close to the typical type of artist that you're going to be pitching to. This is going to give you the best chance of getting an artist cut. Now, if you are collaborating with a producer and you are doing a top line writing to their beat, or you're just collaborating with other co-writers, the recording, of course, it doesn't have to do anything more than say, hey, this is what I was thinking for lyrics and melody. We need to be able to hear it, needs to be clear, but it does not need to be your best vocal performance. In that sense, I've done that before when I'm working with an artist and I might have like, what about this little melodic idea? And I'll sketch it out and will not have warmed up. And I admittedly apologize, hey, sorry about the bad singing, but I don't apologize about it in a way that's like, oh, I should have done this better. It's just like, I'm sorry for hurting your ears that you have to listen to my bad singing, or I'm sick right now. Sorry, you have to listen to my scratchy voice, something like that. But I do apologize for my own scratch vocals on a regular basis. And that's, I think, fine. It's a little different than what I witnessed in that Facebook group. The other reason that you might be pitching your song, your top line, or a song that you've written is for like a songwriting contest. And honestly, this is the original reason why I thought I need to make a video about how to demo your song, because I have judged songwriting contests before and I just recently did one. And man, I was making notes about all the things that I heard these songwriters did wrong. And it comes down to just a few things. One, if I can't really hear the lyrics and melody, I might have the lyric sheet in front of me, but I need to be able to hear it nice and clear. So there were some demos that people submitted where it sounded like they probably put their phone on top of their piano. and maybe, the piano was just a little bit too loud. And so when their vocal was low and soft, I couldn't really hear what was happening. That's enough of a distraction to me to make me not fully engage in listening to that song at the level that I should as the judge. The other thing is I heard, songs that were fully produced, and I appreciated that, but sometimes the production was so distracting to the core of the song, the lyrics and melody, which is what I was supposed to be judging. But if the production, like the vocals are just drowning in reverb, or there's a really obnoxious instrument in there that's kind of fighting with the lead vocal, over the top productions can also be really bad for these songwriting contests. If you're pitching the core song, we just need to hear the lyrics, melody, and if you've got the chords, great. We need to hear those clearly so that we know the overall shape of the song itself, the core of the song. It doesn't need to be fully produced, just really audible. Make it really clear and crisp and nothing to distract us. The third type of demo that you might make is demonstrating your abilities as a musician. And then again, we're going to break that down into if you're looking for collaborators or bandmates, or if you're looking for session work. So if I'm a guitar player and I'm looking for collaborators and bandmates, then most likely you're going to want to post something that says, this is the style that I'm looking at doing, and these are my abilities. Make it current, just like I mentioned with the vocalist. You want it to be current, and you don't want to have to apologize about anything like, oh, I did this, 5 years ago before I knew how to play. What? Why would you post that? So clear, current, and nothing in it distracting, and not an overwhelming amount of stuff. So if you are like, I'm looking for bandmates who are interested in doing this type of music along these lines, then don't post a bunch of samples of other types of genres. We don't need that. Which brings us to the next one. If you're looking for session work, studio work, then what you want to do is, again, just like the singer, you want to have a reel that shows I can do all of these genres. Or if it's a very kind of a more narrow niche that you want to be able to do studio work for, make sure it's a demo reel that reflects you doing that one thing really, really well. And again, nothing crappy in the recording or distracting in the production, so that we will want to be like, ooh, turn that off. You want to just keep it clean and simple and to the point. And the fourth type of demo is more for people like me, producers. If you are a producer and you want to demonstrate your production chops, then there's probably a couple of different reasons why you'd want to do that. One would be you're looking for potential clients and you want to demonstrate your absolute highest, coolest, most amazing, and most current, if possible, productions that you've done to demonstrate that you can add value to that artist. The second reason why you might want to demonstrate something as a producer, and I do this all the time as a producer, is I want to make sure that the production I'm putting together is heading in the right direction. For a number of years, though, admittedly, I would send these out a little too early. Part of my thinking was this should give them the idea of the direction I'm heading, but I don't want to invest 2 more hours into something if I'm heading in the wrong direction. So what I would do is send it out too early, and the artists usually don't know how to use their imagination in a production sense. That's just a skill that they haven't developed yet, where as a producer, it's taken me years to develop that skill. So it wasn't fair that I was expecting them to be able to use their imagination, like, oh, it's going to sound so much better. Well, so what I've learned over the years is that it's better for me to invest a couple of hours more building out the production before I send it to the artist so that it's really, really close. So I used to send it when it was like at 50%, and now I'm getting it 80 to 90% there, because as a producer who works mainly with artists that are singer-songwriters. I'm not necessarily a beat maker. So I usually don't even bring a production home until I have vocals in. There, to me, that's just like such an important main element that I have a hard time bringing the full production together until I have the vocals in and all the backing vocals and lead and everything, because it's just such an important part. So I've gotten better at bringing a production to that point where it's like, okay, we just need that meat and potatoes, the lead vocals, the backing vocals, and all of the ear candy stuff that will happen with the vocals. I try to get it as close as I can. But if you're a new producer just starting out, this is definitely a skill that you want to work on. So, as a producer, this is definitely a skill that takes time to learn, and it took me time, and I'm still working at it. So, anyway, I hope that was all really helpful. If you're a singer, musician, a songwriter, producer, there's various reasons to demonstrate your song and various reasons and ways to do it. So I hope this was really helpful. Let me know in the comments below. And just for joining me here today, I do have a free vocal production cheat sheet. Now, this is specifically for those of you who record vocals, whether you're the one that does the vocal production or not. If you understand how to label everything for your producer, it's going to be very helpful. So if you're at that beginning stage of recording your vocals at home, sending them off to a producer, this will help you make sure everything's nice and clean and organized the way it needs to be for your producer. I hope you'll grab it. Hope you'll subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time.